So I know we're in the middle of FAFO, and people are waiting till it personally affects them before being like, oh, that sucked. But I would like you to keep in mind in this case, if not others, it's best to think long term, because once you're screwed on this point, you're screwed. In the United States, 30% of doctors, approximately 1 million of them, are here on a J1 visa, an H1B visa, a green card, citizenship path, something. 1 million doctors. Roughly 40% of nurses are on some kind of visa, citizenship, green card situation as well. 58% of home healthcare providers are on some kind of a citizenship. And if we're being honest, there are even more that are undocumented. Yesterday, Trump signed the Foreign Enemies Act, and he put approximately 300 alleged Venezuelan gang members on an airplane to El Salvador. Now, a judge said, no way. No, bring them back. And Trump administration argued, like, oh, by the time you made your decision, they were already international waters. And El Salvador is like, well, too slow. They're ours now. We love it in our prison. And you're thinking, okay, that's a one-off. And clearly there were a lot of cameras and a lot of glory time for Trump and, oh! But at the same time, there was a doctor who was flying back from Lebanon, a kidney transplant specialist. She's here on an H-1B visa. She has a green card. No criminal history, no flags, not a risk of any kind. She flew back from Lebanon. At the airport, they held her, and she was like, pardon me, why? And they were like, we don't know, but you're not getting in. And of course, she went through the process to appeal it, and a federal judge said, oh, she's allowed to be here. What the hell are you guys doing? Let her in the country. To which the Trump administration told the airplane, all the wheels were on the airplane, told the airplane, take off. And they're like, but the judge said, and the Trump administration said, take off. So that's 2 constitutional crises in a day. Now, do I think it's the only one? No. A friend who also teaches at this doctor's university has been sending the article out to everybody and is like, can you talk about this? Because it's like the 18th story on the New York Times and they're definitely not trying to push this. Now, I know everybody's busy with like, great, we got gang members out of our country. Well, first of all, and obviously, what are we going to do about the American gang members that you can't send anywhere? It's not like if they're homegrown, they're better. 2. This is a doctor we had no reason to bar from our country who has a specialty in kidney transplants. Well, FAFO to the people who were on her patient list for today and for the foreseeable future, you don't need a kidney, do you? That was just for like fun, right? See, the thing of it is, the more uncomfortable you make it for people who are here doing a job to be here, the more likely they are to leave. And it's not like you guys have a pile of kidney transplant specialists just laying around waiting for a job. This is also a reminder that Canada is recruiting and has an express pass for medical professionals. All your certifications will be honored. It's a 4 to 6 week process. Longest anybody has seen is 8 weeks. Maximum will be 10 weeks. In essentially 2 months, you can be practicing medicine in Canada. No hassle. This is just medical staff. In a Medicare system that is already in crisis after COVID, that is understaffed and underfunded and stressed out and dealing with healthcare, and they are on the edge as it is. You don't want to see what this country looks like 1 million doctors short. Canada would love to see what their country looks like with 1 million extra doctors on hand. You guys are on the edge of bird flu, measles, mumps, rubella, COVID, dysentery, and God knows what else. This is not the time to take away 25 to 45% of the healthcare fields. People who can just go back home and might consider doing it if you guys are gonna just let your president ignore the Constitution. It's some gang members. And a kidney transplant specialist. And the only reason we know about her is because her family has gone to the press and been like, you need to know about this. Do I think those were the only 2 cases yesterday where it happened? No. A couple months ago when Trump started talking about citizenship in very loose terms, maybe we'll even get rid of green card holders and naturalized citizens. I got on here and I was like, for the first time in my life, I am nervous about my citizenship. And everybody was like, oh, but you're white and you're Canadian. You have nothing to fear. Yet we've never had a president who twice in a day ignored federal judges. And if they're comfortable with this, there's almost nothing they won't be comfortable with next. To my friends of the citizenship here in the US, make travel plans wisely in the next 4 years. As in, pack the extra sweater because maybe you won't be able to come back and get that extra sweater. Best case scenario, they turn us away. Worst case scenario, we end up held somewhere. But dear America, You really don't want a FAFO with 25 to 50% of the healthcare industry. I don't think you realize how big that is and how much of an impact it will have on you. Seriously, other countries are fighting for these guys. They are giving them express passes to employment. Come on in, and we will find a job for you in under 8 weeks. Or you can stay in America with the president who's trying to become a dictator this week. This is not good. And you don't want to see this become full FAFO. Check Trump now before it gets much worse.